It's sumo time. It's 2023. It's huge news. Everyone at the Kokugikan, they're allowed to scream. They're allowed to cheer externally again, apparently.
And we saw someone enjoying a nice beer.
And there is beer in the stadium. This is all great news. Also, sumo is going on, which is just an absolutely fantastic way to spend for us a Sunday.
Welcome to Sumo Mainichi. This is our live commentary of the Juryo. This is day one, Hatsu Basho, Tokyo, Japan, Kokugikan.
The great place.
It's going to be a big crowd in today for Makuuchi, we believe. It's going to be great to see this stadium again just heaving.
I think they're nearly back to full capacity. I read something like 91%. I don't know how they calculated that, but go for it.
So we're just wrapping up Makushita now. On your screen you can see Chiyono and who's this? Tochi Kamiyama. Don't know a lot about this kid, but he's obviously on the rise, knocking on the door of Juryo promotion.
And hasn't he got a great way of going down there?
Yeah, he certainly does.
Great way of setting himself up against I'd call him a veteran. Chiyono, he's been around for quite a while. Tochi Kamiyama pushing him back, taking him to the bales. And Chiyono, you don't need to do a fall like that on day one. Don't do it.
You know. Look,
or maybe that's the best day to do it.
some beautiful lateral movement from Tochi Kamiyama. There, as we saw him move around the side, get on the belt, and do what he needed to do there. He do-den that on day one to pick up that win. Not too many more wins. We might see him in Juryo next time. There's only one bout left in the Makushita division. That is Tamashoho and Ishizaki.
Yeah, very exciting. Rikishi at 24 years old. He's from Takasago Bay, which is Asanayama's stable, so he'll be looking to support his stablemate in his return to Juryo this time around. And look at him, he's just a very strong nugget there. He's only been in sumo since May 2021, and he is going for it. Spent one basho out around the COVID times. No worries.
So we see people would say he doesn't look like a very tall Rikishi. He's 177 centimetres tall.
Yeah, way taller.
Which is exactly what I am.
Is it?
Yep.
Do you consider yourself tall?
I used to.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Used to? Have you met a lot of taller people?
I grew very quickly as a child. So I was the tall kid until I hit about high school and I stopped growing and everyone else kept growing around me. So, yeah, I've got the mindset of a tall guy.
Yeah.
But none of the skills to back that up.
You did play basketball.
Yeah, I did.
His opponent is Tamashoho, the other Makushita one.
Tamashoho, not a name that I'm all that familiar with. He's a 29-year-old Mongolian. Made his debut back in 2011. He forgot to turn up that day and went 0-0 in July 2011. But went 2-1 when he turned up for Car Park Zumo on 2011 September. We see him now. This is his highest rank. And there's something beautiful about seeing Rikishi in their late 20s fighting at their highest rank. It's like the sumo has matured, the body has settled. Hopefully we see him in Juryo next time.
A bit taped up. Not sure everything's going quite right there in the old legs and wrists. But Ishizaki, he is looking for a big win here to start off Hatsu 2023. Look at those muscles going. But he's actually not doing a whole lot with them. Here he goes. He's pushed Tamashoho back. Looks pretty happy about that. Bit of an outward display there. Ooh.
Ishizaki, known as the Heartbreaker. It's very, very... has a lot of potential, this Rikishi. We should say hi to a few people who are in the
everyone.
chat. Hello.
It's so exciting to be in 2023. Sumo, I posted about it the other day on my other Twitter account, my personal Twitter account. I'm just so excited for this year. There's so much great stuff to come and we're all going to experience it together. Thank you so much for coming and hanging out with us for Juryo. Siggy, thank you for buying an enamel pin. We've seen that come through. You're an absolute legend, such a massive supporter of Sumo Mainichi. We love you.
And hello Sumo Punks. got some bad COVID news going on there. Hope everyone there is safe and feeling okay.
Right. Daniel, hello. Rob, absolute legend. Thanks for coming and hanging. Chilling for Juryo. Juryo's where it's at. I'm probably more, like slightly. It just slightly pips Nakaguchi at the post. Look who's back. It's Hakuyozan. He's got the knees bandaged. He's ready to go 5 and 10 at the bottom of Juryo.
Look, I don't know. I mean, obviously, for Hakuyozan, he has been down in Makushita for the better part of 2022. Great to see him starting 2023 back where he belongs. Well, I won't say back where he belongs, bottom of Juryo. But in the paid ranks. Ready to do his style of sumo. I haven't heard his pre-Basho interview, but I'm guessing that's what he'd say. And his opponent on the left side of your screen is Tsushima Nara.
Yeah, he went 7 and 8 at Juryo 14 at the end of last year and just pulled off the stick around. 2 wins on the final 2 days. He would have been very thankful for those. And even though he went Makakoshi, they found a place in their hearts for him.
Oh, look, I don't mind this kind of decision making as some random Rikishi wanders in, pulls focus away from these. I don't even know who this guy is. Let's get back to Tsushima Nara. But great to see his effort at Juryo 14, see the 7 and 8, but also dig a little deeper and see that he won those last 2 days. Broke, I think, a 4 or 5 day losing streak. Give him another go. I love this style of banzuke construction.
Yeah. It's very pro. It's very positive. We love to see it. Tim's here. Hey, Tim. How are you going? Tim. Aaron. Hello. Oh, Vancouver. What a great place. And Kisayama won. You've reminded us. Yes.
Oh, fantastic.
Great news.
Yeah, we did see that. Very, very good stuff. As we mentioned before, some of the restrictions around what fans can say and do in the arena have been relaxed. I would imagine that half these people are absolutely off their face. Getting stuck into the beers pretty early. I would say they've probably been here since 10 a.m. I mean, if you're here for sumo, here for Juryo,
you're committed.
Yeah, well, you are committed. You've been here
committed
probably since 9:30 a.m. Tsushima Nara ducks his head, but Hakuyozan, the thrusting attacks just overwhelmed Tsushima Nara. That looked like a very, very easy day at the office for Hakuyozan. I think I'm going to say it. Hakuyozan, he's back.
Yeah, good on him. He'll be looking forward to a couple of rises. I've totally flipped now. I said he was going to go 5-10 at Juryo 14, but I'm back. I'm back on board with Hakuyozan. He stepped forward confidently there. Didn't even worry about whether the knees were going to hold him up or not, but they did. His thrusts look good. And that was very confident. Tsushima Nara taken unawares.
Absolutely. I think you saw on the replay there, Hakuyozan sensed Tsushima Nara coming low, used those thrusts to stand him up, and that was enough. Great start for Hakuyozan.
We have next the Juryo debutante. It's Shona Naomi in a resplendent. I got so distracted by the colour of his mawashi I couldn't pronounce his name. A resplendent, what would you call that? That's a coral. That's coral pink.
That is definitely coral pink.
Yeah. I mean, everyone's colour balance on their monitors or screens is probably really different because, you know, when you're watching somebody else's telly and you're like, everything looks so different. But to me, to us in this room right now in Melbourne, Australia, that looks resplendently coral pink.
It's a powerful colour choice.
Yes,
to go into that area of the colour spectrum. For his opponent today, Kaisho, it's going to be hard for him to keep his eyes off that.
Yeah, it's blinding him.
It is a bold colour choice indeed. We can see here, this is Shona Naumi's preferred winning technique, I believe, back in Makushita for Hataki komis.
Oh, okay.
Now, because we are limited, we don't know whether are they all hankers? Can we assume that?
Yeah, probably. Ben Marshman, where are you? We need you to
actually, Ben could probably tell us that.
Charting this guy's hankers before we've even seen him fight in Juryo. No. He's popular. He's been around since 2014. He is 24 years old from Takadagawa Bayer.
Just doing the maths there. Was he 8 years old when he started, or did I?
Been in sumo since 2014. He's 24.
Oh, okay, right. So very young.
Yeah.
Very
young.
young.
But not 8. But that's a cute idea.
Nice even spread of kimarite there for Kaisho. I didn't quite get to see what they were, but he had one of each.
I did.
Beautiful stuff. Kaisho, he's from Aichi, which is where Nagoya, the city of Nagoya, is located. Started his career with the last name of Honda. Aichi Prefecture, I used to live there, and Aichi Prefecture has all of the big Japanese car companies located in it. So it was Honda giving him a few bucks to... What's his actual... No, that's his real name. He started with his real name, Honda.
Yep.
Changed it
but
after...
could also get a sponsorship because
true.
it's his real name.
True.
The Shonanumi Army in today. They should start chanting. I mean, in Australian sport, fans get pretty rowdy. So, we're always looking for just a soft chant. Shonanumi, just a little one. We love it. In the cricket in particular, the soccer's been going badly in Australia. We won't talk about that. Shonanumi, he is ready to go, and he comes up against Kaisho solidly. They get on the belt. Kaisho leaning right forward, but Shonanumi, he is strong. He picks up Kaisho and he takes him to the edge. Kaisho puts up a bit of resistance at the end, but he shouldn't because Shonanumi takes him back the other way, and the army are happy. They didn't even need to chant. All ladies.
It will take the Japanese crowds a while to get used to shouting and chanting again. They don't have to. This was powerful belt sumo from Shonanumi today. Really showed his class here. This isn't really the sumo that Kaisho wants to be doing on the belt. He's a better thrusting attacker here. Put up a nice little bit of resistance on the bales there, but Shonanumi kept his head, knew what he needed to do, racks the win up on the coral mawashi.
Yeah.
Great win for him.
Impressive eyebrows, that guy. Looks impressive all round on day one. Fashionable and a winner.
The next bout we have coming up, Takakento versus Asaniyama. We've heard a lot about this Asaniyama kid. He's risen through the ranks very, very quickly.
He gets a big round of applause. People are on board with him. I mean, I didn't hear a boo, which is nice.
Sumo fans generally forgive pretty quickly. And I count myself as one of the people who... We like to give people second chances. We love redemption arcs. We've all made mistakes in our lives.
No, that's fine as well.
Well, no, he's reset his redemption arc. Don't worry about that. He's got a long way to...
he's got to come back with you again.
Long way back for me.
Asaniyama, we mentioned on our pre-Basho episode his interview when he talked about how difficult it was to lose his father just after he was suspended and how he was doing it for him now, and very much his comeback was aimed to redeem himself in that area. Hello, Tabby. Lovely to have you here as well. Thanks so much for coming. Who else have we got? Corey.
So all eyes on Asaniyama this time around. I think one of the things we said in our pre-Basho episode yesterday of the podcast was that Asaniyama has some stiff competition. There's a bunch of young, hungry Rikishi on the rise. He will cut a path through, but I don't think this is going to be an easy 15 days for Asaniyama, given that all eyes will be on him as well.
There was some conjecture as to what mawashi colour he was going to have. And I think you ran a poll, Tim, about what colour. And I think the consensus was black. Like, you've got to keep, on your comeback, you can't be going the coral pink.
Oh, jeez. Can't you, though? Maybe, Tim, what was the result of that poll? I'm very interested. Well, looks like the Abema vision switcher caught a camera person quite unaware there when they asked for the shot of the Torikumi.
I was a bit rude to Taka Kento on the podcast when I said that you mentioned that Asaniyama would come up against a lot of difficult opponents on his way back, and then I said, but he's got Taka Kento on day one. So Taka Kento, I'd like him to make a formal apology. My written apology is in the mail If you send me your email at any stage, I'm happy to email it through as well. But the 26-year-old Taka Kento from Tokiwayama Bayer, I'm sorry, you might win.
Taka Kento, he knows what it's like to be at Juryo 12. He's put up some good numbers from there before. And look at that. He thrusts the stomach
He's presented
forward.
the belly.
He's presented the
watch
belly.
Out. The belly has been
and
presented.
Asaniyama looks absolutely rocked to his core there, but he has to do his sumo. Makes him wait. Interesting psychological. Well, he hits Taka Kento very hard. Taka Kento working under the arms. Asaniyama retreats and swings Taka Kento down. Interesting to see the back step there.
Wasn't it? Yeah, that was... I thought he was in trouble, but I feel like I feel like that was calculated.
Well...
But it wasn't coming forward, was it?
It wasn't coming forward. Some good positive sumo here from Taka Kento.
Well, he certainly came forward well. It was a good touchy eye. A good touchy eye, actually, from Taka Kento. And, yeah, he grabbed the right arm of Taka Kento and was able to swing him down. So that did feel actually very... calculated, but still a swing down.
Absolutely. And I think what we saw there was the enthusiasm of Taka Kento just being overridden by the experience of Asaniyama. Wasn't panicked when that powerful touchy eye came out. Kept his head there. Went about his business. Day one win. I think that takes a bit of pressure off. Is there pressure?
There's absolutely pressure. Yeah. There's big pressure. But he looks... I just remember that stare at the start from him being Ozeki. I mean, he still looks very cool, calm and collected. Welcome, Scott. Have we lost our Takara Leben sponsorship? Yeah, the new replay sponsorship seems to be Mirath Holdings. Now, I'm going to need...
Oh, okay. We might need
you
to
do some research on that.
Might need to dig deep there.
What would you guess? What's everyone's guess as to what... Don't Google it.
I'm
What's
sure it's
Holdings?
another housing thing, I'm sure. I just want to jump into... Someone put in the chat.
Hey, Ben.
Daniel's mentioned... So, Abi had tied up Wakamoto Haru?
Oh, in the... Yeah.
Was that
it was
who
Wakamoto
it was?
Haru. Yes.
I didn't put that together. Makes me like Wakamoto Haru even more.
I know. I only realised that recently, actually. That's not great.
Makes me respect Abi a little bit more. I mean, Wakamoto Haru wouldn't have been an easy person to get down onto the mat to tape up in the first place. If he didn't want it...
What a business that was.
Yeah.
What a business.
That was a funny old time, wasn't it, 2020?
Chio Sakae up next against Shimazumi. He has a 4-1 record over Shimazumi, who is probably a little bit annoyed that his Mawashi colour has been trumped by the coral, because he's got a nice light orange. He would have...
I'd call that... What would you call that? It's
light coral.
Light coral. Or is it dark lobster? It's ocean-based, whatever that colour is there.
Shimazumi, he has been in Juryo since March last year, and he's done all right for himself. He's a Juryo 10 stalwart. I like this idea of just becoming not a Juryo stalwart, but just one rank. You just hang around there.
Well, you get a lot of experience there. His opponent today is Chio Sakae on the left of your screen. He's a 32-year-old from Kyoto. Interesting, he made his debut in January 2009 in Miyazumo, which we refer to as car park sumo. They throw some rope down in the car park and let the kids go at it. He went 2-6 on that day. Just kept going and kept losing. Chio Sakae, Shimazumi.
Shimazumi comes forward, reaches for the belt with the left hand, but he misses, and instead he shoves at Chio Sakae's face one way then the other. It's real grappling at this stage at the shoulders, but it's Shimazumi who pushes forward. He does fall down, but Chio Sakae is already out.
Oh, Chio Sakae hated that, didn't he?
Yep.
That was a very honest bout of sumo there from both competitors.
Nothing impressive, was there?
No, look, I mean, that was just honest, workmanlike sumo from both of these people there. As we see the replay, and we see Shimazumi with that thrusting attack, managed to keep his feet throughout that, which I think was probably the difference between these two today. Great start for him. We've
been reassured that Abi and Wakamoto Haru are still good friends. Were before. had a bit of a joke. You know, like you tie up your friends as a joke at work. Oh, I do it all the time. I work in classical music. We love to tie each other up and just like put it on social media.
Yeah.
Oh, here he is. Here he is. The great man himself, Terutsuyoshi. What is he going to do with the salt? What's he going to do?
Let's see if Abema TV are aware of the importance of this moment.
Do they know about Zoom? Well, they do.
Well, they do. They love doing it while the camera's hot, being shown here. We should just take this moment to talk about Terutsuyoshi's opponent today, Gonoyama, because we probably won't for the rest of this bout. This one is all about Terutsuyoshi. Gee, it's a great thing to have Terutsuyoshi down in Juryo.
Oh, it's
here
fun,
we go.
actually,
Little bit of salt on the self.
Oh,
this is the warm up. This is a small one. This
Interesting.
This is
to
fine.
start off with, but he always did that.
Yep.
What's the second one?
Yeah.
Oh, I got too excited. I thought
No,
that was it.
this
I
is
thought that
just
was it. I've gone too hard.
Well, you can hear the crowd at Kokugi kind of gone completely silent. They know how big this moment is.
Well, we saw a guy with a big magnifying glass reading the Banzuke before. He's got that magnifying glass out and he's
Here we go.
focusing it on Terutsuyoshi's hand.
Get out of the
right
way.
now.
Oh, it's another
it's
half
small,
handful.
small.
I'd probably put that at about 300 grams of salt. It's probably what I'd throw on a steak if I was cooking it.
Oh, yeah.
So
You do like to
nothing
salt
like
a steak.
Oh, you got to salt the steak.
You salt it.
Absolutely. Gonoyama, 24 years old from Osaka. This is his fourth Basho in the Juryo ranks. It's great news for Gonoyama. This is his highest rank after a very powerful 9-6 performance back in November last year. Terutsuyoshi, what do you say about this Rikishi that hasn't already been
he's newly
said?
married. Congratulations. That's what we say.
Congratulations.
And then we say, hope you're getting treatment for your diabetes and can figure out a way to get that sumo form back. Gonoyama, he always looks so tentative. Do you reckon he's a tentative guy?
Well, I mean, he's
really
a still
careful.
waters, run deep kind of guy, I think. There's a lot going on inside there.
Here he goes.
Here he goes.
Here he goes.
Terutsuyoshi.
Oh, I'm getting a
Okay.
head spin.
Have they got enough salt in the basket? Looks a little light on.
Pick up the whole basket.
Yeah, pick up the basket. Well, my prediction was
He's getting the camera out.
two big handfuls. Okay, here we go. There it is.
Oh,
There it
He
is.
will not be cowed.
It's massive.
He will not be cowed.
Yeah,
The
well, it's good
Juryo
to see.
crowd.
They love it. This is a real statement.
It actually is.
This is a shot across the bow for Juryo Rikishi. Be very scared. This is the same Terutsuyoshi we've seen rack up wins in the high divisions. But can he back it up? He didn't last time.
Can he back it up?
Can he back it up?
What is
This
it?
won't be an easy one for Terutsuyoshi. Gonoyama, much bigger, much harder to move. Look, I'd like to see from Terutsuyoshi today a little dip to the left, a
Oh,
little dip
yes.
to the right.
Well, Bennett like
Just
that. Pop it in
something.
the spreadsheet.
No, it's not a henker.
Oh, okay.
Just an honest little shift. Here we go. Terutsuyoshi down first. Looks for the belt grip. He gets turned around by Gonoyama, who's attacking the throat. Terutsuyoshi gives ground. He had nothing in the arsenal there that could stop that attack and hangs his head.
Yep.
No answers to the questions today from Terutsuyoshi.
Well, I was just reminding myself before what Gonoyama's Kimarite of choice was, and you can see it in his last basho. He is all about the oshidashi with occasional haruki komi, which he tried right there. But yeah, just all about that pushing forward, and he really got up in the neck and chest area, which is difficult for Terutsuyoshi to do anything about because he's like half the size of Gonoyama in terms of bulk.
Perfect way to play that, I think, from Gonoyama.
Yeah.
For Terutsuyoshi, if we take into account the final defeat on day 15 of September last year, his 17th straight loss.
Oh no. Oh no.
Let's just take a moment of silence.
Well, where's he going to go from here? We'll see.
Well,
He has to come back. He
there's
has to
only
back
one
it
way.
up on day 2.
There's only one way.
Win.
Well,
Into the white circle.
look, I mean, we've been well, I won't say we. I'll say I thought the effort last time was courageous.
Yep.
But it seems as though courage isn't enough right now.
Hidenomi, he is up against Oroga. Speaking of big units, Oroga is one. Hidenomi absolutely hating the coral mawashi. He's like, I am the pink mawashi guy. Maybe if anything is going to excite him to bring that back, then it's Shona Naomi's mawashi. But I think he's embraced the brown now, hasn't he?
Well, he has, and I think there's something that can be read into that. Hidenumi, he was suspended for gambling-related hijinks, I should say, and sat out January 2022. At that point, he was Maegashira 8. We saw a big fall for him down to Juryo 1, and he just hasn't managed to get it together. 2022 was a solid year, but nothing that really said that he deserves to be back in the top division. And he went 4-11 last time at Juryo 4.
Roga, though, he is looking great from Mongolia. 23 years old. He looks older, but I think that's just because he's a big guy. He looks very established. He looks very sumo.
He does, doesn't he?
Sumo do.
He looks very, very comfortable out there.
And in his first basho in Juryo, a big 9-6 win on the last day. Comes in confident. One of the very exciting young guys coming up.
Absolutely. I think he'll have a good time in this particular basho. And I think so interesting to see the raw enthusiasm of Roga meet the more experienced head of Hidenumi today.
Roga down early. He knows what he needs to do, and he is absolutely keen to do it. He comes up against not Hiradumi, Hidenumi. I'm so used to saying Hiradumi now, but he slams into Hidenumi and slams him actually back across the Tawara.
Yeah, no real signs of a plan of attack from Hidenumi today. Thought he could just work it out at the touchy eye, but it turns out that Roga was just too fast, too strong. When it came time to respond, Hidenumi, was just in a very, very bad position there. Oshidashi win for Roga. I'm sure he'd love putting that white dot next to his name on day 1.
All right, we need that bout now set to a salt and pepper song as well, please. You've done yourself in there because that was too good.
Wow. Amazing stuff. Our next two competitors stepping up today, we have Shimano Umi and Kid Nowaka.
Kid Nowaka, what's his young man of the south, of the north?
He's young of the north.
Young of the north. Up
of
against
course.
The future, perhaps, Izutsu Oyakata.
Oh, jeez. Yes. We will be making a few references to Sumo, which is the new
Sumo,
online sumo shop that was released, or I should say launched in the first few days of this year. It's all official products, but if you do put the site into English and go and check out, or search, I should say, search by Ricochet, the old machine learning didn't do such a good job on every name. And Kid Nowaka is known as Young of the North.
He is young. He is actually young.
And where is he from? Is it? Everywhere is north of somewhere.
He's 22 years old, and he's from Yamagata.
Yamagata. I don't know where Yamagata is. Maybe someone could help us out in the chat. Not a prefecture I am all that aware of.
That means it could be in the north.
Could be. Yeah, well, I don't know the north all that well, to be honest. Well, Shimano Umi, what does 2023 hold for this Ricochet?
How's everyone feeling about Shimano Umi? Let's have a Shimano Umi therapy session, because
2022, he's put up some absolutely dreadful figures.
Yeah.
5, 6, and 4 in January. He did get a Kachikoshi in March, 8-7, but from there we saw him slide back to Juryo with a 7-8, 1-14, 4-11, and then back in November a 7-8. So very, very few wins over 2022 for Shimano Umi. Shimano Umi, I think, is important for me personally, because I think he shone a light on this issue that we're starting to uncover, which is Ricochet getting married and the carry-on effects to their sumo.
yeah.
Shimanumi, I do remember after that awful time he got married, and I think he went 4-11. Put something in the... Well, I mean, he was interviewed after that, and there was something said about, I thought my wife would support me after we got married. I'm sure...
No. Let's not put it on her.
Well, no, exactly right. I'm like, she's not out there.
No.
You are.
No. She doesn't have to do any of that. She's off on her own career. What is her career?
Restaurant owner.
Well, hey, sumo royalty she is.
Sumo royalty. Sumo administration, perhaps. Something I'd love to get into. All right, looks like they're ready to go. Kinawaka down, eyes forward. Springs into Shimanumi, gets to work under. He swung him around, got on the belt, and just drove him out. Not controlled sumo from Kinawaka today, but young man of the north picks up the win.
He'll be looking to replicate his September effort where he went 10-5. He was looking great there last year, but he looked powerful there. He did really well. Now, there's been an interesting suggestion in the chat that I am 100% on board with. That when hello Brian, I've been meaning to say hello to you for about half an hour since you came in. I'm so sorry. Hello. Welcome. You're going to the Sumo when? I'm just scrolling up. Sometime next week? Next Friday. Sumo Mainichi sign.
Oh.
Could you pop up onto the Juryo and walk it round with the others?
Yeah.
What about that?
We would love to see that. So we...
I have to say first, I'm very jealous that you're going. We're going in Osaka, and it actually seems like a few people are going in Osaka as well. So, Scott, we know that you're going, although I don't think we're going to overlap, which is terrible news. But Aniki as well, are you going to Osaka as well? And I've seen a couple of other people on Twitter. I think it's going to be quite great in terms of the JSA South
and
North and all of the other JSAs attending. So that will be fantastic to have such a representation from all us sumo fans in Osaka. And Brian, you next Friday. So what sign? What would be the best sign here?
Oh, gee.
You could wear an enamel pin. We'll send you an enamel pin.
Not sure how that'd read on the telecast, but, you know.
Pretty small. Although I can see that lady's badge in the green. That's a big badge. What's hidden under
our badge is
the information?
A lot smaller than that. Well, it's your friend, my friend, Chiyanakuni.
Yes.
Coming in at Juryo 7. Still loving his sumo. Still putting in. Completely disregarding what his body is telling him about what he should be doing.
Same. I feel it.
Shut up, body. I'm going to keep doing sumo.
Yeah, absolutely. It's so impressive from him. It really is. His opponent is the 23-year-old Tochi Musashi. He has a Juryo Yusho under his belt. He got it at Juryo 14 in September last year and then struggled, but pulled it out at the end. He went 1-6 in the first 7 days last time around and then was like, okay, you know, I might still be a little bit drunk from September, but now I've got to turn it around and actually do the sumo that I was doing last time and ended up just with a 7 and 8. So that is okay. He absolutely rescued his form there, finished off with 2 wins. And I think he'll be looking strong. He came straight in at Sandanmei. So he's come through the university system and popped straight in March 2021. And he'll be looking, I think he's going to go all right this time around. It's not a very hot tip, but
I think, as you said, the ability for him to turn around that terrible start and work his way back to 7 and 8. I mean, we often say that the numbers don't often tell the story. That 7 and 8 means a lot. It could have been a lot worse for him.
Yep. It suggests to me that he might be a bit of a heart Rikishi, actually, because he came up so quickly, but then when he won the Yusho, he won it on day 13 and the day 14 and 15 he lost. So that
well.
suggests that, the pressure was off and he couldn't, he was feeling a certain kind of way.
Okay.
And then that feeling carried over into, I don't know, it just suggests something about him to me that maybe he feels a lot.
He needs to keep the intensity up. Every day matters.
Yeah. Absolutely. Another calm. He exudes calm for me, whereas Chianokuni, absolute chaos.
Yeah.
So
He's built a career on that chaos, though.
That's right. The calm and the chaos meeting here on day one of Hatsu Basho 2023. They're waiting. Chianokuni, he's down first. What can the knees do today? What can the body do? What can the elbows do? The wrists?
The fingers.
Oh, well, I'll tell you what they do, and it's a huge
well, I don't know about that. I mean, that looked like...
big jump to the left.
I don't know. I'd like to see the replay. That looked fine to me.
Fine?
It looked fine.
When you said, I thought you were like,
no, I was like, good sumo.
What?
Let's have a look. Look at this. This is courageous sumo from Chianokuni here. Meets him. Honestly, moves around. Beautiful stuff. Let's move on.
Okay. Well, I mean, good work getting the salt out of the way. So
great stuff.
Tochi Musashi didn't donk his head on it. That would have been worse.
True.
But as Tim Sumo has called it, it's a massive henka. It's an MH.
Yeah, look,
a big old one.
If I put my feelings towards Chianokuni aside, I do have to admit that didn't look great. The replay from Abema, interestingly, didn't show us any details. And notice they've moved on very quickly in the coverage.
Bit of a Chianokuni fan on the camera,
well,
I think.
They don't
on the vision switching.
They don't want kids seeing that,
Marbeth Holdings or whatever it is. It's like, we want to do another replay. We've paid for 2 replays per.
Yeah. Well, no, I think they'd have a clause in the contract saying you can't put our name on replays of Henkers.
You're not allowed to do 2.
Yeah. I wouldn't trust a company that sponsors that kind of behaviour.
Well, Bema doesn't have that many angles. I mean,
you
only need one angle of a Henker and that was it.
There are rumours that there's only one camera person and they run around to the different positions while they switch. I'm not sure if anyone can confirm that.
Or Siggy's labelled it a dog act.
Yeah,
it's official.
All right,
it's official.
a dog act.
I will not speak against.
All right.
You have to.
Sumo.
Next up, it's
Chirinoumi.
Yes.
Up against Dai Shoho. Or as Sumo would translate it, the Great Shoho.
That's Daisho.
Yeah, but it's the same kanji that's
one.
being
the Great
translated.
Shoho. I get it.
Yeah, it's all right. Catch
wow,
up.
really slow on that one.
Chirinoumi, the what's that small island called? Okinawa, the Okinawa native, up against Dai Shoho. Both Juryo 6. Chirinoumi, his highest rank was last Basho. He was at Juryo 2. Found it a little bit hot there.
Yeah.
I thought he did solid sumo day in, day out. Just one of those situations where he just couldn't find a win. It was 4-11 that he ended up on. Now moves back to Juryo 6.
Daya Mummy in the audience there cheering on her boy Dai Shoho, one of her boys, one of her many children. She's the mother of all of them.
We might get to meet her.
Oh.
We
Could
should
she
get a
give
photo,
me one of the... Yeah, we could actually. Could she give me one of the jumpers, the many jumpers she has supporting these guys? Because I don't reckon they're that easy to get.
Well, I mean, they're custom made, right?
They must be. Dai Shoho hasn't been in Makuuchi since November 2019. That's quite a long time now.
Really?
I still... You know how you imprint someone with where they were when you watched towards the beginning. He's always a Makuuchi Rikishi for me, but he's absolutely a Juryo Rikishi, even Makushita at the moment. But here at Juryo 6, he's doing all right. He got a Kachikoshi in November.
Dai Shoho with the little fake out. Am I ready? Am I ready? No, I'm not. We're standing up. Chirinoumi having absolutely none of that garbage. Well, they found a new camera angle as Dai Shoho powers for Chirinoumi under absolute attack, but he finds his way back into the center of the doyo. Dai Shoho looking to get that hand on the back of the neck, but they find a beautiful bit of peace in the middle of the doyo. Now we see the very technical part of sumo that I personally love. We call this getting a bit handsy. Tsurunomi trying to dislodge that right hand that Daishoho has on his shoulder.
Hit the elbow from below.
Well, I think, well, look at the bandaging there. He'd be well aware that something is going on there. Oh, he charges forward. Tsurunomi puts himself in a bad position. He knows he's made a mistake.
Gives him a pat at the end.
Yeah, and there's Dia Mummy.
You hate saying that, I'm sorry.
Well, no, I don't want people to think I'm saying Dia Mummy.
No, mummy. Like
Mummy.
Mum.
Yeah.
Like mom.
Mommy.
In
Dia Mommy.
American.
We should
Mom.
say that. Wow.
How'd we
Our
go
American
with that?
accents are no good. As we see the replay, well, I've got to say, Daishoho read that move very well.
Yeah, he did well there, actually. He looked strong. He had a good stance, legs wide
Yeah.
apart. The elbow taping held up, and I'd like to make a formal apology for saying hit him under the elbow.
Hey.
That's an Australian bar fight move, and I'm sorry for that.
Well, look, I mean, that's sport. You find an opponent's weakness and you exploit it. And in that case, it was the elbow.
It's not classical music, is all I'm saying.
Well, it's not. That old saying, that's not classical music.
Actually, classical music.
Well, I was going to
people
say, a genre of
vicious.
music
Yeah.
known for its fairness.
Yeah. And equality
Yeah, and equality, yeah.
across all minorities.
All right.
It's getting better. It's getting better. We're doing our best here at ABC Classic. You can listen all around the world.
You should probably qualify to say that anything you say does not represent the
No.
views of your employer right now. Up next, Kimbo-zan and Koroku-zan, the two Zans.
Zan v Zan. Kinbo-zan maybe a little bit more exciting in the future of sumo, but Koroku-zan, why not? He's fought his way back to Juryo 5. He's 28. You know, he had an absolute terrible time of it last year in May when he went 2-13 and couldn't find any semblance of a win. But he's come back.
It seemed as though that performance in Makuuchi really rocked his confidence.
Yeah.
He's, he fell back to Juryo 7 and just has worked his way back to Juryo 5. But with a series of, well, he went 8-7, 7-8, 8-7. Maybe if he finds his way back, it might be different next time. As always, I think as a public service announcement, I do need everyone to go to Sumo DB and look up Koroku-zan because he has one of the most dope photos taken from his
I just
early
saw it
days when he didn't tie his hair back. I mean, it looks photoshopped.
It's officially called high hair.
It's like an AI generated it because it doesn't look quite real.
Well, it doesn't. It doesn't. And it's so glossy.
It's glossy.
In Australia, there's a massive trend at the moment. And one of our friends' sons has just adopted this of young people with mullets. So that's where you've short on the top, long on the sides. Is this around the world or is it just
Actually,
Australian?
I don't know. Do people know what a mullet is?
Well, short on the top,
Oh,
long
okay.
on the sides. Party.
But what's it called?
Party at the
back.
back. Work at the front.
Business at the
Business
front.
at the front. Party at the back.
I'm
Yeah.
sure other places have a name for that haircut.
Yeah, I mean, you just have to
Or
look
is
up
it the
any
mullet?
young Australian band and they've all got mullets.
Go into Google or Bing if you want truth.
Oh, Bing.
And
wanna go
type
deep web.
mullet and then -sign fish because you don't want to see the fish.
Oh, no.
You want to see the
A
haircut.
mullet's not a fish. Mullet? Are you thinking of minnow?
A mullet is a fish.
Is it?
Yeah. It's got a really weird haircut. I think a mullet is a fish.
So Kimbo-zan
Now I have to look
v
actually.
Koroku-zan. They've come at the side on this one, camera angle wise. Kimbo-zan is getting all slapped around the head by Koroku-zan, but he successfully turns him around, gets him on the bails, and pushes him out. That was great sumo,
Yes.
I think, personally, from Kimbo-zan. I think he
Yeah.
controlled that fight really well.
Looked very good on his feet for such a big man. Absolutely ran this one. I didn't get to see all of this because I had the panic that a mullet isn't
Google.
a fish. And the one thing that I do, well, let's have a look at the replay before I go on about this. But Kimbo-zan looks so confident, doesn't he? Like on the back foot, keeps his eyes focused on Koroku-zan.
He moved away from the thrusts there. He used his own movement, moving backwards and around so that Korokuzan's thrusts went kind of past him and turned him. So all of the momentum that was imparted to his body was translated. He could translate into his own pushes. That was really cool. I enjoyed that.
It was one of those bouts that looked better in slow motion than it did at full speed. Anyway, I can confirm that a mullet is a fish.
Okay, well, that's weird.
And I can also confirm...
Why can't I remember that?
Well, I mean, I don't know.
Let's see some other opinions on mullets here. We've got ape drapes. Oh, damn. Dave was drinking sake then. I think it went
Who
up
said
his
that?
nose.
I can't see the chat 'cause it's too far away.
Sumo punks.
Right.
Is that both of you guys or just...
Oh, dear.
And in Canada, mullets are called hockey hair. Yeah.
Oh, that's
actually,
so
I
cool.
did know
That's so
that.
cool.
In ice hockey, right? Am I...
Yeah, I think so. I don't think they play grass hockey in Canada.
No.
I think they call ice hockey hockey.
And they're big in America as well, yeah. I mean, mullets around the world. How can we get this into Sumo?
So does everyone have a freshwater fish called a mullet? Or are they unique to the Victorian waterways?
Well, you've got Google open.
Bing.
You've got Bing open. You've got the mullet page open. I can see it.
Well, the other thing that I realised is that you don't, when you search mullet, the haircuts come up first.
So
I thought it was definitely going to be the
if you
fish.
If you want mullet fish, you've got it in mullet minus haircut. All right, Enho.
All right, Enho.
It's Enho time.
Yep.
Tohakuryu, fine, no worries. But Enho. Enho has had a resurgence.
Well, let's talk about that effort last time. 10-5. Absolute turnaround. 2022 was a garbage fire for Enho in terms of his sumo. And then suddenly in November,
Yep, he found
turns
it.
up.
Yep.
It's back.
Yep. The other thing I've learnt about Enho is, Brian, I think you were watching Hunter on Netflix. So it's on American Netflix. I'm not sure if it's on Australian Netflix.
We have a VPN.
The show is called Hunter. Like, that's so scary. That's like, we just finished watching Alice in Borderland. Please watch it if you like Japanese horror shows. It is so, so good. Ben, you'll attest to this. But Hunter sounds just as scary as that, although I don't think Enho was killed in any fashion. Just the running after it.
Okay,
If you don't know what we're talking about, listen to the Pre-Basho podcast.
So this other guy, Tohakuryu, he's up against Enho. That's all we need to know about him. No, we need to give him the respect he deserves. He's 26 years old from Tokyo. Had a bit of a rough time at his highest rank of Juryo 1 back in November, where he went 5-10. Been around in Juryo for quite a while.
Oh, it's called Run for the Money, not Hunter. Sorry.
Oh, Run for
I
the Money.
misunderstood.
Okay. But is it the Japanese show or is it an American version of it? Because I don't want to watch
Brian?
Americans chase each other around. All right, here they go. Enho is down. Well, Tohakuryu shows his hand there. Weeks of strategy formation gone in a split second. Enho now knows where Tohakuryu will come from, which turns out was straight ahead.
I mean, that's good.
Well, who could have guessed? Enho trying to work his way underneath.
Oh,
Well, I feel like
that was an own goal.
I think you're right. I think Enho lost that rather than Tohakuryu winning that.
What's it called in tennis?
An unforced error.
Yep.
What's it called in classical music? An unforced error.
Playing a wrong note.
Playing a wrong note. So we're going to see the replay here. Enho did move very quickly forward, and it seems as though he just didn't get his feet back under himself. Yeah, he's not happy with that.
Damn. The power of his body, though, to stand up like that at the end.
Ugh.
He didn't push himself up off the ground. He used the power of his
Power of
legs.
his legs.
I have to say, I am back on board the Enho train.
Well, look, I think you should be. I mean, today, we can't draw any conclusions about what we saw today.
I'm actually not sure I've ever been on it as strongly as I am now. Like, he's been great and I've enjoyed it, but I'm into it now. I'm into him.
Well, I wonder whether 2023 will see him back in Makuuchi. With Terutsuyoshi leaving the top division, there's not really a lot of room for small Rikishi at the moment. as we see
The boys.
the boys come out.
Takakeisho, future Yokozuna? Question mark.
Question mark.
Wakataka Kage Ozeki? Perhaps.
Question mark.
Takayasu.
Takayasu Ozeki. Question mark.
We understand the
Shodai Ozeki.
question mark.
Full stop.
You got me.
I think Shodai might surprise us.
Yeah.
And by us, I mean
would love-
everyone else. It won't surprise me.
I would love that.
Yep.
I would actually legit love that.
I think-
They've put him in premium position there.
Yes, this is the best spot.
Yep.
You get to see his
behind
face the whole time.
Hakaku. He's got to resist the temptation here to pick anything or like fiddle with anything.
He's okay.
Such a consummate fiddler.
He's catching up on a bit of sleep, which I think is a good strategy. He needs to be rested for his bout today against Mitakeumi.
Wakamoto Haru up there with his brother.
Well, this
Exciting
is magnificent.
times.
It's magnificent. The great Aisho up in the back right corner there.
Takakeisho looking firm. Yes. He's got a good like resting frown face. I like it. That's why when it gets to the end of a tournament and the pressure is on him, his face lifts and he goes more like this is his perfect face here. But you can tell when he's nervous because his face lifts and he goes more baby face.
Well, I agree. I think you can see the slightest shift in his expression.
I think so.
Someone like, well, I'll show you on screen at the moment, ice cold. He feels no highs, no lows. Said in his pre-Basho interview that he wants to do better sumo than 2022, which I think would be a scary proposition if he did better than last year.
Kiribiyama, not a whole lot of talk about him. Like he's been so solid.
He has been. He's a dangerous opponent. He's no easy beat. He's doing his job up there. Jen, it's a very full house up on the doyo, which we like to see.
Konowaka, haven't even mentioned him. Welcome, welcome.
No, welcome, Kodnawaka.
Always representing with the excellent colours. A good representation of colours up there, actually. It's lovely.
Yeah, it's a nice spread. And great to see the Kokugi-kan audience appreciating these champions.
Yep.
I mean, they won't remember a second of this because they've been drinking since 10 a.m. You can see the big bags of Sapporos that they've brought in from the convenience store. Drinking has returned to the Kokugi-kan. Takakeisho not looking comfortable stepping off the doyo there.
Wasn't great, was it?
It
He's
wasn't
very
great.
slow.
Yeah, he's very slow.
Is he limping? Why is he so slow? Is he just enjoying the atmosphere?
He might have. Well, I mean, there are rumours that he filmed an episode of Hunter yesterday.
We're just calling it that now.
What was the American name of it? People
Oh,
Chase
it's called-
Ricochet. I can't remember.
Chase me.
Chase me for money. We've got 3 bouts left. Atami Fuji up against Oshoma. Well, Atami Fuji.
Oh, yes.
What
this is a
can
great
we
bout.
say?
This is very exciting,
Well,
actually.
I think it is.
Atami Fuji coming down from Makuuchi after you'd call it a failure. It was a failure, but not a career failure, just a little blip along the way.
It's a great learning opportunity.
Learning opportunity against the current Juryo Yusho holder, Oshoma, who is a little bit, I mean, he's taller than him. He's not more bulky. It's a great matchup here, actually. I believe they have not fought before. Oshoma's Yusho comprehensive. It was 11-4. He won out against, who was it? Aqua? Tsurugisho? That it?
Atami Fuji holds a very interesting record in that he was the final person that Chiyotairyu beat before Chiyotairyu decided to chuck it in.
Oh.
There's something in that.
Yeah. He has to take over from Chiyotairyu
Oh.
in terms of sideburns or express.
Okay. Well, interesting.
Imagine if you had to adopt the
Yeah,
soul,
I don't mind this.
the nature of the final person if you were the final opponent of somebody before they retired?
Well, not the final opponent. The final person that he beat.
Right.
It was Aoyama who was actually the final opponent. And here's Atami Fuji obviously talking about his plans to grow big sideburns.
He's like, I've tried quite a bit already, but you know, my family always told me to shave them off. Like it wasn't really a good idea to have them, but then I saw Chiyotairyu and they were so glorious.
Oh, look, I have to admit, I didn't think Atami Fuji was ready for Makuuchi. And then when it went down last time,
nice.
I felt awful.
Yes,
I didn't
yes.
enjoy it.
Yes.
I did not enjoy being so right about it. But look, I think this time in Juryo will be very brief. It won't last long. He'll be back very, very quickly. A couple of fans in who have creepily printed out Atami Fuji's face at home.
That's not a printout. That's like they've sewn.
Ooh,
It looks like it's printed on material.
What do you call
and
that?
they've sewn around, embroidered around the
Embroidery,
edge.
wow.
That's nice. Yeah, I mean, all of us put our hopes in. If you don't put your hopes in Atami Fuji, then, you know, the world should just end right now. We should get hit by a massive meteor and just, that's the end of it.
Yeah, I agree.
He's such a lovable guy.
He represents what's good about sumo.
But he wasn't ready, and that's okay.
Oh, he's 20 years old.
That's okay. Oshoma, he's 25. He's got that extra 5 years. It's everything. But he hasn't been in sumo for very long. Neither of them have.
Well, Oshoma, it's a name that just kept coming up. He won the Makushita Yusho back in May of last year. And wow, November. An incredible 11-4 Yusho. Looked very, very good throughout the Basho here. He did that from Juryo 12, now finds himself at Juryo 3. Is it Makuuchi time for this guy?
It is, absolutely. And such a great prospect for Naruto Oyakata as well. Like also a lovable stable all around, I think. And to see this success is fantastic.
It's a fascinating bout for day one.
Atami Fuji needs to get this stare down. He needs to be meaner.
Yeah,
Can he
less
be meaner?
smiling. He's down first. He pushes in to Oshoma, but Oshoma is low. He's giving ground here as Atami Fuji finds a left hand on the belt. Oshoma has the right hand on the belt, but he's unable to really get any purchase with Atami Fuji. Atami Fuji continues to work Oshoma backwards, and you really feel at this point Atami Fuji is in the better position as he uses that right hand belt grip to body Oshoma back to the bales, but again Oshoma resists. But this was a matter of time. That was powerful belt sumo from Atami Fuji. Exactly the kind of sumo he should be doing on day one.
I think so. This will make the Heya very proud, very happy. It's been a little bit difficult perhaps for Isagahama. We haven't seen the Oyakata today after his demotion from the board of the JSA after all the horrible and awful
allegations
and confirmed allegations
yeah,
that came out against some of his Makushita Rikishi. And so for Atami Fuji here to get this win, positive for them.
Just great belt sumo from both of them, we have to recognise. But it always felt that Atami Fuji had the upper hand.
Gosh, yes.
Yeah, he loved that. He absolutely loved it.
Little pat at the end as well. This is the new sumo,
As if to say,
younger guy sumo.
I gotcha.
I gotcha.
I gotcha.
Tag, you're it.
Tag. Get off my doyo.
I think Oshoma would be very disappointed there because he did get himself in an okay position, but Atami Fuji did have the upper hand. But we've seen in November, we've seen him get in a good position and just be still overrun. So for him to win from that position and for Oshoma not to be able to get back, he pushed himself off the Tawara a couple of times successfully, but yeah, couldn't pull it out in the end.
Up next, another big name. We have Hokuseiho up against Daiamami. Hokuseiho coming off that red hot 10-5 from Juryo 6 back in November. Did drop the last 2 days though, with losses against his opponent today, Daiamami and Kotokuzan. 2 bouts you would probably say that he should have won.
I think so. We'll talk about how people were learning to beat him, and maybe he just took the foot off the pedal a little bit at the end and let people find some opportunity against him. It's not easy. Tim, you've made a good point. When we're all thinking about, well, maybe some of us are thinking about going over to Japan to see.
We all are.
To go to the sumo as much as we can now for the rest of our lives. Every time. Who we're going to see in those times. So if you're lined up for July, if you're lined up for September, who is going to be up there in Makuuchi when you go? And Tim, you say that you want Hokuseiho, Atami Fuji, Oshoma, Kinbozan and Kid no Waka in Makuuchi by then. By July, I think that's when you go.
The great mummy on the screen at the moment. Look, I think in terms of those predictions, I think it's pretty safe to say that most of those will be up in Makuuchi by the end of next year. March.
But who's going to go?
Well,
we know.
Yeah, well.
Maybe.
We're all going to go. We're booked in for March.
Oh, yes. I mean, go out of Makuuchi, but also
who's going to go out of Makuuchi?
All of us.
Well. I've got a few names that I won't say because I want to keep it positive.
Yeah, that's right. Everyone gets to stay. Daimami, he was the other one who was in the Yusho race last time around. That's right. I don't know. He's not always foremost in my mind, Daimami, but he should have been in November because he went 11-4.
Well, lots to like about his sumo last time, and he was red hot. He won his last 7 bouts. Some would call him a second-week specialist if they didn't look at Sumo DB to see that he can be quite patchy in those second weeks. So really showed that when he gets it together, he can be quite formidable. Of course, he has been as high as Maegashira 11. We do need to remember he's only been around since 2016.
Yeah.
So it's not like it's... I feel like Daimami's one of these Rikishi. It feels like he's been around forever. But...
Yeah, I would have said he'd been higher than that. But I mean, what do I know?
Had a brief excursion back to the top division.
Can he get back again? He's at Juryo 2. He's up against the big man. This is a super heavyweight bout, you're right. 2 big guys. They're going to clash. Hokuseiho is going to stand right up there. Well, they can't agree. And fair enough. They're just both waiting. I think the Tachiai might be quite crucial with Hokuseiho.
In terms of the way to beat him.
Yeah. Do you need to take him by surprise? You can't let him get into his perfect position.
Which is just standing there.
Yeah, and also, is he not an initiator as much? I'm not sure.
Oh, I think he's a responder, absolutely.
Yeah. But he's down again. Can they find the Tachiai? This time around, Hokuseiho hands down. And he stands up higher than Daimami. Daimami in low and on the belt picks up Hokuseiho.
Wow.
And with his bulk, with his strength, with his power, he gets the win. And I'll tell you whose day is made. It's this lady right here. Big fan.
Well, I think Daimami played this perfectly. Daimami seems to have Hokuseiho's number now. This is the second time he's beat him in a row. He made it look very, very easy today. But what was it here? He found his way on the belt, but we've seen a lot of people do this.
Yeah, that's right. Well, I think was it that Hokuseiho was also on the belt?
Oh, Hokuseiho loves getting on the belt, though.
Yeah, that's right.
He didn't... Daimami... We need a replay of that. That's so fantastic.
I'm definitely getting a photo with her.
Yeah.
Was it getting him off balance at the Tachiai? I mean, I don't want to say I have an insight into but, was it that Tachiai that Daimami got him off balance? I'm a genius.
I think so. Well, I think that probably every Juryo Rikishi and most of Makuuchi will be having a look at that tape tonight when the JSA get around to putting that on VHS and sending that around because lots to unpack there.
Yeah.
People need to find a way to beat Hokuseiho.
Yeah, Hokuseiho, you got to watch the tapes.
And look, if I had said to you, who is the Rikishi that will unlock the way to beat Hokuseiho? Daimami probably wouldn't be in your top 10, right?
No, possibly not. Although he is just so strong big.
Yes. Well, that brings us to the final bout of Juryo. And can I say, I'm a little bit relieved because it's a summer's day here in Melbourne. It's very hot.
Oh, it's so hot in here.
And
we had to turn the aircon off.
We've turned the
for
aircon
sound.
off in the studio. We've turned the fan off. It is hot as an oven in this room.
We
The
are
sumo
sweaty
is hot,
boys.
but I'm hotter. It's very, very warm in here. And, I mean, talk about this for what a way to finish Juryo for day one. Akua
I
up
love
against
this.
Bushozan.
I love this.
This is a beautiful piece of programming. Two Rikishi who know how to express themselves through the medium of sumo. Akua, well, on his own mini redemption arc in a way, that 10-5 back in Juryo showed what he can do when he just sticks to the basics. He looks so, so good.
Yeah, I think disappointed though that at Juryo 4 he couldn't do enough to escalate himself back into Makuuchi, because there is no doubt that that's where he wants to be.
He wants to be there. I don't think he should be there yet. He needs a little
Yeah.
bit of time with the new Akua. He needs to
Yeah.
get to know himself.
Yeah, he needs to stop memeing, and
Well,
he
I know
did
he
stop
did.
memeing. I mean, I love a meme.
Oh, well. We,
Like,
we love
please
the
keep-
Kakanage
like,
phase.
if you want to do that, like, we all love it.
We love the crashing the car phase.
But if you know,
Yeah.
possibly if you want to get back, that needs to stop. And we did see that happen in November. He just went back to good, straightforward, solid sumo. Lost his second week wasn't as great, but the record speaks for itself. Bushozan, he got his kachikoshi at Juryo 2. It wasn't enough to put him up either. He was someone who was also looking forward to his first stint in the upper ranks. Oh, the split screen, I love this.
Wow.
They only bring it out once. Once per basho, I
Well, I
reckon.
think
And
that
they've chosen Akua and Bushozan on day one.
I think they've got the free license for the split screen plug-in, and they only use it when it absolutely needs to be done, and that is for this bout. Well, here they go. Akua charges forward. Bushozan spins him around and gets to work under the chest. Akua, well, he stepped out there, lost control of his feet as he tried to find some space. Well, I mean, that's what happens when you let Bushozan do what he does.
Yep, he looked good there. No sign of being pulled down, which is often one of his ways of losing. How did he take control of Akua so quickly here? Moved him around well, Akua moved himself around to the side, actually. Yeah, he just got up on the chest, and Akua wasn't able to initiate quick enough or respond quick enough. That was good work by Bushozan there.
Bushozan reacted very, very quickly. He saw that door open a little bit and he kicked it open. And got that Yorikiri win. Great stuff, Bushozan. Akua looked a little slow on the uptake there. I thought just reacted a little bit too slowly. As we see our good friends, the Makuuchi Rikishi,
Here they are.
starting
Takafuji
to
leading
come
them out.
up.
What's happening?
Well, what's going
It's
through
okay.
his mind? Maegashira's 16. He's on his second written warning. I think if he can't perform this time, he's going to slip from that top rank. And I think
Keeping his head high.
I think there's some questions around his long-term sustainability in this role.
Can he rep Isagahama this time around? They started off well with a win from Atami Fuji. That's Juryo for
That's
us.
Juryo. Thank you so much for joining us. We've had an absolute ball
Thank
sitting in
you.
this very, very hot room.
That's right. Well, it is about to boil over here. Just very hot. And Brian, I saw you say it's 0 degrees in Chicago. Wow.
Well, it must be nice.
And cold in Japan as well. We've got a lot of nice jackets out there. Thank you so much. Thanks, Sumo Punks. Listen to their amazing podcast. Brian, have you still got T-shirts going? I love your T-shirts and range of apparel. Put it in the chat if you need to. Dallas Sumo Club.
Get amongst it.
Thank you for all your support, you guys. And everyone else in the chat. I don't know, put links of your businesses.
Yeah, I mean, if there's anything you'd like to sell us.
Yeah, just
Have you got things on eBay?
that's right. Put anything in the chat. I mean, don't get us banned off YouTube. I don't know how that works.
Yeah, me neither.
If you'd like an enamel pin, a Sumo Mainichi pin, you can go to Bandcamp. That's the way
It really
we've chosen
shows
to do that.
really shows our indie music backgrounds, where the only way we know how to sell something is through Bandcamp.
Yeah, that's right.
I looked at Big Cartel. It's like, am I a business? It was too confusing.
Yeah, we're not a business.
We're not a business.
Thanks so much. Awesome to to do Juryo together. And we'll see you for day 8. See you then.
See you then. Bye-bye.
Bye.